Four grey figures rendered in ink form a tableau. Though minimal in detail, their postures and gestures speak volumes. The first walks while gazing into his palm. The second hunches forward in motion. The third collapses to his knees, arms stretched in silent intensity. The fourth stands still, one hand at his chin, the other pointing back in an accusatory arc. These figures, anonymous and monochrome, become characters in an enigmatic, wordless drama, a sequence of actions frozen in time, rich with symbolic resonance. The scene can be read as a psychological or existential narrative, moving from inquiry to burden, to collapse, to judgment. The first figure, absorbed in what he holds in his hand, might represent curiosity, introspection, or discovery. His gaze turned inward toward his palm suggests the beginning of a personal quest or confrontation with something unknown. The act of looking into one's own hand may symbolize the search for meaning, truth, or responsibility. He moves forward, but his attention is not on the path. He is absorbed in something smaller, private, possibly dangerous. This is the moment of origin, the moment before awareness gives rise to consequence. The second figure, hunched and still in motion, seems to carry a weight. His posture, stooped, perhaps weary, evokes a feeling of burden or guilt. He follows the first, yet his body tells a different story. He does not look inward nor forward. There is no object in his hand, only the sense of heaviness in his body. He may be reacting to the discovery of the first, or struggling under the unseen consequences of that discovery. This is the stage of suffering, when knowledge or awareness begins to demand a cost, and the body bends under its weight. The third figure breaks the flow. He is no longer walking. He has fallen to his knees, arms outstretched and tense, as if pleading or resisting. His position is the most dramatic, the most physically expressive. Something has overwhelmed him. This figure becomes a focal point in the sequence, embodying a moment of collapse, confrontation, or spiritual surrender. He could be reaching towards something lost or trying to hold something back. He is no longer bearing the weight quietly. He is in full expression of it. This is the moment of crisis. Then, on the far right, the final figure stands upright and alert. His body language is both thoughtful and decisive. With one hand, he holds his chin, contemplation, judgment, calculation, and with the other, he points back at the stooped figure. His accusing finger suggests blame, moral clarity, or the enforcement of some unseen law. He is not moving, he stands apart, while the others are engaged in a struggle of motion and emotion. He is the figure of judgment or consequence. This final stage could represent society, conscience, or the inner critic, looking back at the path that led to collapse and pronouncing a verdict. Taken together, the four figures form a symbolic arc, like a visual parable. The drawing reads as a meditation on cause and effect, on inner life and outer response. The transition from quiet introspection to collapse, followed by condemnation, mirrors countless narratives of personal fall and public judgment. But in this case, the story is told not through facial expression or dialogue, but through posture alone, body as narrative. There's a timeless, almost mythic quality to this arrangement. It recalls ancient friezes or stained glass panels where a story is distilled into a sequence of gestures. The anonymity of the figures, grey, featureless, enhances their universality. These could be internal states of a single psyche, stages in a transformation, or representatives of larger forces at play: curiosity, guilt, despair, and authority. The use of ink reinforces the starkness of the scene. Ink is unforgiving, like memory or moral judgment. There is no softness, no revision. Each line is fixed, as are the figures, captured in a moment that will not change. The monochrome palette suggests a world drained of emotion or absolutes. Everything exists in grey, morally ambiguous, emotionally muted. Ultimately, this drawing invites the viewer into an interpretive role. Who is the protagonist? Is the accuser justified or blind to his own complicity? Is the kneeling figure being punished, or is he the only one to fully feel the weight of truth? Does the first figure know what he holds in his palm? The image provides no answers, only gestures that, like ancient rituals, suggest truths beyond language. In this way, the drawing becomes more than a depiction. It becomes a mirror. Each viewer may see a different story in the sequence, depending on where they are in their own inner narrative. The figures are silent, but they speak clearly to those willing to listen.